Hey everyone, so I just want to go live and talk about the adjudication with the court mediator. I don't know why they did this, other than to try to ruffle my feathers, piss me off a little more, and of course hurt the kids. Because, you know, for the longest time they've been using the best interest of the children, and it's been 11 years now, okay? So let's start with, we had Teresa Burgess, the court mediator, me, we had my boyfriend, we had Morris Patrick, who is deaf, and he is the CEO of Stolen Children by CPS in California, and he was there to support me, and they had kicked him out several times from the Zoom call. And we had Jocelyn Jarrett, CCA for CYFD, and they said that Amanda Romero was supposedly working on this case with her, which I don't believe. Allison Pironi was Irene Griego's attorney when Irene was alive. Irene is the grandmother of Holly and Esmeralda Griego. She's also Mark's mother, who passed away in 2020. And Allison Pironi cannot be on this case anymore. Okay? She was Irene's attorney. She was the GL for the recent case with Casey Tharp. Now she is, I believe, Mark's attorney. She did not say that she was Mark's attorney, but I believe, based on how this meeting went, that she is Mark's attorney undercover, and they just don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say that she is. They don't want to admit it because, you know, she runs a show. And this isn't someone that needs to get disbarred from the state bar, because you cannot be an attorney over and over and over in our cases. We're still the same people. We still have even more problems than we did before. And no, you can't do that. I don't care if you're a director for the state bar, if you're Marie Catherine Ward's best friend, Judge Parnell's best friend, all these judges. If you're their best buddy, I don't care who you are. But you cannot be in our case, in our life anymore. You don't represent me. You don't represent my kids. You don't represent Mark. You don't represent his mother. Get out of our lives, Allison Pironi, and leave us the fuck alone. Okay? Oh, let's see. We had Marianne Archangelis, supposedly my attorney, that really doesn't do much for me unless I fight with her. Which, you know, she gets off on that. We had Renee Sandoval. She's supposed to be the caseworker. We had Mark present. We had Sherry Trescott from OFRA. I don't know what that is. Christy Chapman is supposedly an attorney for Holly, but there was no attorney for Esmeralda. Susan Burgess Farrell, strangely, was not there, but I do believe she's possibly still working on this case, which is why Allison Pironi decided to take it over, and I'm sure behind closed doors they're working together, bouncing ideas off of each other and all that. So anyway, because I didn't agree to confidentiality, they didn't want to give me my treatment plan or supervised visits with my children. They're claiming that Holly asks for her dad when Holly cannot speak. She's never asked for her dad. I actually have a video on YouTube that shows Holly's anxiety when she's asked if she wants to see her dad. And we use the PEX card method to show the public how Holly behaved when she was asked if she wanted to see her dad. So I know that's a lie. They didn't talk about Esmeralda. They left Esmeralda completely out of the meeting. Rarely do they talk about Esmeralda. They mostly talked about Holly, and that's because Holly is disabled. So they're finding ways to profit off of Holly's disability because they know that Esmeralda does not have a disability. Talked about EPSTAT again, as if Mark doesn't know what it means. They talked about the girl's mental health, the school, the visits, for dad only, not for mom. They talked about sibling bonding. Oh yeah, they want Mark to sign releases of information regarding his medical records, and they want him to select medical care instead of medical history. They think that's going to make a difference, you know? They want me to have therapeutic visits. Well, the same thing goes for, you know, like last time. If I have any kind of visits with my kids, I will be recording them. It's my right to record them. And I will be taking notes and making copies of those notes. They said they had no therapeutic recommendations for dad's visits. That he does not need any therapeutic recommendations. So that means they're justifying that he left Holly locked in a room with Good Samaritan. So somebody needs to report Good Samaritan and get Good Samaritan here in Albuquerque, New Mexico completely shut down, because not only did CYFD justify Mark abusing our daughters, not send him to school in 60 days, but they also don't think that his living environment is severe enough to terminate his parental rights. So they're going to give him another chance to hurt the girls even more. This is why this agency needs to be completely closed down and defunded immediately. Not tomorrow. Donald Trump, President Trump, please, you need to come to New Mexico and you need to put cameras in each of these buildings, every single one of them. And you need to put cameras on, you know, the courts, all the courts, so you can hear and see the injustice that happens in these courts, as John Gentry has suggested years ago. John Gentry's from Tennessee, and I agree. We need to put cameras. Those cameras need to be connected to the FBI. They're still seeking relative placement, even though we both told them we didn't want it. We don't need it. I'm not placing my kids with none of my relatives, because none of my relatives can take care of my kids. They're not suitable. Mark's relatives, they're not suitable either. They have no therapy for the girls right now. Let's see, so Holly is at the receiving center, the CYFD receiving center on Indian School Road. And that's against her rights, because she can't use the bathroom when she needs to go. So she's basically in prison, kiddie prison. Esmeralda's in the foster home with a male. She should not be with the male. All that's doing is re-victimizing her, because she already had issues with her own father. So she should not be in a foster home with a male. I did request, based on what Irene had requested years ago, which I still believe is valid, for the girls to have neuropsychological evaluations and Esmeralda to be assessed for schizophrenia. And the department and the court mediator and everybody involved, including her dad, all denied that for the girls. So that is not in the best interest of the girls, when a whole entire department and their actors have all refused to give Esmeralda and Holly what they need. And it's because they're taking advantage of the fact that Holly can't say what she needs, and Esmeralda is not present to say what she needs. And I know if Esmeralda would be here and she would see how they're treating her mother, she would probably stick up for me and say, you know, you need to send me back to my mother. Because Esmeralda knows that I love and care about her and Holly. And she knows she did not have head lice or bed bugs or none of the issues that they have right now. She knows that she went to school with me. And Holly, Holly's situation's a little more difficult because she's disabled. So they've kept taking advantage of Holly's disability for 11 years now. And I think that's enough. I think they need to stop this. Stop harassing my family. Leave my kids alone. Let them be with their mother. Towards the end of this meeting, Cherie and Jocelyn and Allison Trioni and just basically everyone else that was here was going to be meeting with Mark for another trial home visit, which is against the law because he's already had more than 3 trial home visits. This would be the 4th one. And they have not lasted because he's not a responsible parent. And this agency needs new eyes, completely new eyes, new vision. They need their vision checked, their hearing checked, because they don't understand that Mark does not have a disability. His problems are he chooses to play video games. He chooses to ignore the girl's needs. So, whether it's Casey here, or whether it's whoever, he's doing what my mother did. My mother's a Leo, just like him, and they did the same thing. They lied to the courts about everything they're supposed to be doing, and they think lying is going to help them, and it's not. So I just want to make a record of this meeting, and hopefully we can get the IRS to stop with this case, because it doesn't need to continue anymore.